everyone, and welcome to another fabulous episode of How Many Tabs Are Open on Mr. Johnson's computer. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 14. We're back in 14. It's a lot, Mr. Johnson. You should close some tabs. Thanks, Mr. Johnson. Okay. As you can possibly hear, I don't know. I think it's raining. That was lightning, maybe. No, that was just the light. But yeah, I hope you're staying dry. I hope you slept last night through the thunder and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so today what we're looking at is we are looking at a strange exercise. This is the oddest exercise I've ever seen for volume. All right, what they are doing is they are showing you the base layer, but they are showing you the base layer sideways. So, okay. Imagine all of these. They want you to see how many cubes are in it, so they're putting it sideways, but really, we're supposed to knock it flat. So, like, push it over, all right? So, all of these need to be, like, pushed over. They're the bottom layer. That's what it's kind of trying to say. This is the base of the prism. But, here. Sorry about that. They're basically showing it to you like this, right? But then whenever it's the base, it's the bottom layer. So we're knocking these over. All right, but they set them up like this so you could like count how many cubes are in there, right? Because when they put it at this angle, now you can see how many cubes are in there. All right. So the thing you got to know is this isn't height. All right, this is the base layer. They just stood it up to let you see how many cubes are in there. All right, but this is the base layer, so this would be the bottom layer. So they're saying that this is the bottom layer. How many layers do we need to get this volume? All right, so this is the bottom layer. And then how many layers of this base do we need to get the volume? So today we're using the volume equals base times height formula off of your STAR cheat sheet for 5th grade. Remember, by the time you're in 6th grade, this is your formula for volume of a rectangular prism on your STAR 6th grade cheat sheet. So volume equals base times height is what we're using today. The thing is, we already have the length and the width. All right, so the length and the width are what we are already given. Remember, this isn't height because basically, like I said, they're showing it to you like this, but they're saying that this is the base layer, so it's the bottom layer. All right, so it looks tall right now, but really just knock it over because it's the bottom layer. All right. So what we're going to do first is we're going to figure out how much is in each bottom layer. We can do that like array style. All right. So this is a 4 by 5 array. So how many unit cubes is it? 4 times 5 is 20, right? All right. So the base of your prism right here is 20 cubes. We can count them to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So our bottom layer is 20 cubic units. Now, how many layers do we need for our total volume to be 140? All right, so this is where we're going to use OneNote, and we're going to look at our formula, which was volume equals base times height. Remember, it doesn't have a multiplication symbol, but you can draw it in there if you really need to. This formula, volume equals base times height. All right, we are being given the base. The base is this layer that we're looking at. So our base is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 cubic units. Now knock it over. All right, just go like, all right, now that's the bottom floor. All right, so we know that our base is 20. So volume is equal to 20 times, and our H, let's just make that a blank. All right, so this blank represents H. So we actually know the volume as well. They told us the volume was 140. So we can even replace the V because we know V on this equals 140 and B, our base, equals 20. Once again, our volume right here says 140. And we counted 5 by 4. This is 20 unit cubes, 20 cubic units. All right. So basically now what we're looking at, let me go ahead. Let me leave the letter on this one, is one of those algebra problems. Now we're basically looking at 20 times something equals 140, right? And we can do the zeros trick on this. 2 times what equals 14? Whatever 2 times equals 14 will be the same. 20 times that number will equal 140. You can use the zeros trick, just cover up the zeros, right? So what times 2 is 14? If you said 7, let's check our work. Is 20 times 7 140? 7 times 0 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. That is true. Remember, you can also do the zeros trick where you cover up the 0, just pretend it's not there. 2 times 7 is 14. We covered up 1 0. We'll put it back on. So it looks like our height, and that's the part that we've been looking for the whole time. Our height was 7. It's a bad color to use for highlighting, but let me pick that, and there we go. All right, so we were looking for our height. The height was the missing piece, and then by filling in the parts that we did know the volume was 140 because it says right here volume 140. We did know the base was 20 because we counted the cubes in the base. So 140 is equal to the base of 20 times the height. 20 times 7 equals 140. So how many layers did we need? If we had 7 layers, 7-layer dip of this shape right here, if we had 7 layers, I think that was 7. I think I did 7. If you had 7 layers stacked, 7 times 20 equals 140. So we would need 7 layers of this base. And remember, we're knocking it over so it's flat, and then we're building on top of it. 6 more layers, right? 6 more layers of that 20 on top of that one base layer would be 7 layers. 7 times 20 is 140. All right, so let's take a look at the next one. Once again, remember, they stood up your base just so you could see all the pieces. They were being nice, but it's confusing. So once we count the pieces, let's knock it over because that's going to be our bottom layer. It's our base layer, right? So we have a 3 by 4 array. That is 12, or we can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so we have a base layer of 12. All right, knock it over. Kersplash. All right, now we're going to use our volume equals base times height formula. All right, remember you can find this on your star reference guide in 5th grade right here. Volume, rectangular prism, volume equals base times height. Base is the same thing as length times width. Remember on your 6th grade cheat sheet, boom, volume equals base times height. Your 7th grade cheat sheet, it's gone. Nope, it's still there. Yay. So 7th grade cheat sheet, it's still there. 8th grade cheat sheet, still there. 9th grade cheat sheet, gone. So through 8th grade, you'll have the volume of a rectangular prism. And, oh wait, that was area. There's volume of a no, not through 8th grade. I lied. Through 7th grade. In 8th grade, they'll give you the formula, but it's going to be the area of a rectangle. Same thing, right? Area equals base times height, volume equals, well, we'll get there. Okay, so back to this. We have our layer. Knock it over. Knock it over. And we had 12. Oh, let me get all the numbers. My volume equals 192. And my base layer equaled 12. Let's double count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. So I'm going to plug in these numbers. All right. For V, I'm going to plug in 192. I do not know my height, but I do know the base. The base was 12. And then this is times the number that I don't know. So as you can see, volume turned into 192 because it says over here, volume was 192. The base turned into 12 because we counted 12 cubic units as our base. And then we're trying to figure out the height because we don't know that yet. So Now, on this one, you might not know how many groups of 12 equals 192. Remember, you can also do division to figure this out. You could skip count up by 12s until you hit 192. You could plug and play by just guessing how many times 12 multiplies to equal 192 by thinking like, well, 12 times 10 is 120, so I'm just going to work from there. But division works very well, so here's a chance to practice our division. Remember DMSB, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. First thing I'm going to do is divide. 12 goes into 1, 0 times. All right, 12 times 0 is 0. Subtract, 1 minus 0 is 1. Bring down my 9. Next thing, divide. 12 goes into 19, 1 time. 12 times 1 is 12. 19 minus 12 is 7. Bring down my 2. 12 goes into 72. Let's see, I think it's 6 times. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 7. Oh, wait, what did I do here? Yeah, no. That's a 1. I'm getting ahead of myself. 6 times 2 is 12. I will carry a 1. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 1 is 72. All right. So it was 16 times. So our height equals 16. Well, I guess I can, yeah. 12 times 16. So h is equal to 16 because we figured out that if you had one layer of 12, if you stacked it 16 layers, you'd have a volume of 192 cubic units. So that original picture that we had right here, if we knock that over and added 15 more layers on top of it to make a complete 16 layers of this 12, then we would have our volume of 192 cubic units. So 12 times 16 equals 192. So this base layer knocked over with 15 more layers on top would equal a total of 192. Okay, last one. Once again, remember, they're sticking the base layer up on its side so you can see all the pieces. This is a weird activity, but once we count the pieces, knock it back over so it's your base layer, the bottom layer. All right? So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You could have also said that's a 2 by 6 array, so that's 12. All right? So we just figured out that our base is 12. Our volume will be 300. So let's use the same formula. Volume equals base times height. They said our volume equaled 300. And as you see, we can work these formulas backwards because of the fact that formulas work backwards and forwards because they're equations. They have equal signs. So if we have 2 out of the pieces that we're missing, 2 out of 3 pieces, then we can solve it. So this one we have 2 out of 3 pieces, so we can solve it. So volume equals 300. My base equals 12. So as you can see, I replaced the V with 300, the B with 12, and then I'll replace the H with the box of I don't know, right? So now we have to figure out how many times can 12 go into 300. Once again, if you skip count, you can get to there. I'm going to divide because dividing is accurate for me. So 12 goes into 3 0 times. 12 times 0 is 0. This is an excellent chance to practice your long division if you haven't in a while. And then 3 minus 0 is 3. So then I'm going to bring down my 0. 12 goes into 30 2 times. 12 times 2 is 24. 30 minus 24 is 6. That's a 6. And then I'm going to bring down my 0. 12 goes into 60 5 times. That's just a math fact. 12 times 5 is 60. So I subtract, and then I don't have to bring up anything because I don't have a remainder. It's just 0. So the number that I can plug in that makes this true is 25. So H is equal to 25 because 25 layers of 12 will equal a cubic units of 300. Let me say that again. A volume of 300 cubic units. So 12 layers, I mean, 25 layers of our 12 unit base, 25 layers of this. Remember, knock it down and then stack 24 more layers on top. That would give us a volume of 300 because 25 layers of 12 cubic units would be 300. All right. So our number of layers to have a volume of 300 cubic units is 25. All right. So that is the exercise. Sorry if it was kind of confusing because they were sitting up and you had to knock them over, but hopefully that helps clarify what's going on there. All right. So I hope you have a wonderful day. If you have any questions, please talk to your teachers. Feel free to like and subscribe if you feel like it. Yeah. All right. So have a great day. I love y'all, and I'll see you later. Bye.